Hello, inflation fighters. Thank you for joining me, the Penny Nanny, where we watch over every cent. I hope you enjoyed the supplemental pantry on Monday and the recipe on Tasty Tuesday. And today is Wednesday, so we're going to talk about wealth. And one of the things that we're going to talk about, well, the main thing, is medical insurance. Now, I'm not going to get political on this discussion or anything like that. But I just want to share with you my experience with insurance companies and trying to right now get insurance through healthcare.gov. So when I was a kid, my dad worked a union job and he had medical insurance, but it was catastrophic medical insurance. In fact, that was kind of the only insurance that really existed at that time. And, we just waited until we needed to go to the doctor. There was nothing about preventative care or screenings or anything like that. None of those things were part of that healthcare coverage. So I would say maybe around the late 1980s, early 1990s, preventative care screenings and things like that became kind of a big deal. And most people wanted to have that kind of coverage, and most employers offered it. And many employers would pay a portion based on, they might pay for just the employee, and then any dependents or whatever were covered by payments made for them from the employee. So we had that kind of coverage, but when you switch jobs, they don't always offer it, and it started to drop off the map of employers even offering the coverage. It started to kind of pick up steam and get going around the late 90s and early 2000s. And the area that we live in now, presently, most places don't offer insurance plans. And I think I mentioned previously that at my husband's company, everybody has their health care through their spouse, so it's not really an issue. So come to right after or right before the Affordable Care Act was passed, we knew we needed coverage, so we got catastrophic only, and it was minimal. I mean, it wasn't even $100 a month. Excuse me. It was very inexpensive. And at the time I was working and my husband was working. So, but after the Affordable Care Act happened, private coverage that way skyrocketed and it got extremely expensive. But we still continued with just the catastrophic only until after COVID. It just became too expensive to do, and business was dropping that year because of what I did at the time was clean vacation rentals and vacation properties. So it took a downturn then. And we had to basically drop it by 2021 because it was ridiculous. I mean, that's all I was working for. And many people are okay with that, but my spouse doesn't make enough money to just live like that, at the time, because I was paying for a business vehicle and I was, using lots of gas and things like that. I had expenses for the business. So, I mean, it got crazy. So we basically went without healthcare coverage once my son turned 18 because we knew, or we felt, if he wanted it, he could get it through a program from our state. And, we were going to figure something out for ourselves. So when my medical issue came up this year, I never went to the doctor. I did a lot of research and did a lot of things on my own. And it wasn't until September that I went to see the doctor. And there were some issues that needed clearing up. I had an infection and that had to be taken care of, and things like that. So, but immediately, again, and we talked about this, to refill a prescription, they wanted me to do more blood work. And I mean, it was $1,000 just to have that in a consultation in the first place. So, we tried to sign up for the Affordable Care Act last week. And the least expensive plan, now that this is for us, this is me, my spouse, and my son, because he's not living on his own yet. The least expensive plan was like $400 and some dollars. Now everybody's circumstances are going to be different than ours. But that $400 and some dollars doesn't cover everything. In fact, we have an that plan would come with an $18,000 deductible. Well, if I had $18,000 laying around somewhere, I would definitely be putting it towards insurance or coverage or something. So it just wasn't reasonable. And of course, the further you went up in plans, the greater the cost every month. And there wasn't that significant of a drop in terms of deductibles. So, I don't think we're going to be signing up for anything. Not yet. There's got to be a better way. That's all I'm saying. We're not rich by any means, and the area we live in is somewhat expensive because it's a tourist economy. So a lot of things are priced for tourists to pay, and we don't get breaks. And the housing up here too is another issue. They don't have, I went on to Zillow, and there were only 10 properties, which were houses, under $200,000. And they weren't very big. The place where we live, our lot is extremely narrow, and our taxes are crazy here because we live in the city. So, it costs more that way. But just to have a house and accommodations is good, because renting a place is, the monthly cost for renting a place for what we would need is way more than our mortgage. So, we've got those other issues. And of course, everybody's dealing with the food and things like that. And we were talking, and it's like, if we didn't have the pantries, I don't know what we would do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how we would make it. Ramen noodles every night, but of course with my health issues and my husband, we want to keep our sodium levels low. I mean, it's a battle royale, if you will. But, I just think there needs to be a better solution than what we have going on right now. And I'm just praying that something changes with that. And the election this year you know, because so many things have been created by policies and things like that. So again, I'm not trying to get political here, but I'm just being a realist when it comes to these issues. So tell me about your experience with the Affordable Care Act, and if you've tried to sign up for government subsidized plan, or if you have your private stuff, let me know that too. You know, if you found a way to make that happen for you, I'd really love to hear that. So but that is just Wealth Wednesday for today. So be well, be blessed, and know you're taken care of. Bye now.